Hey Flosstube, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on Tuesday, January the 26th. I know I said I would do a video on Monday, but our travel plans changed and we ended up not getting home until late yesterday, so, what are you gonna do? I hope everyone has had a good stitchy week. Mine was kind of wonky, to be honest with you, but I kind of warned you all about that last week. Several holdovers as far as my whips were concerned. I did get all of my year of starts, or I did a new start every day for the year of starts, though I changed the order a little bit when we ended up going out of town. I'm looking forward to getting back to my regular rotation, not only with stitching, but just at home in general. It took a lot out of us this weekend. Long drive. Place we stayed at was awesome. It was a refurbished farmhouse that this couple, they have their house on a property, and then they refurbished the farmhouse as a guest house, and it was gorgeous. And we had all sorts of animals, and the kids really loved it, and it was good. Sad reason to be down there, but good overall experience. So kids are back in school today after, I look awful, after, not wanting to go to school this morning. I think they're just tired. It was, like I said, a long weekend. Yes, there's peaks of my needle minders in the corner. I'm going to do almost a standard weekly video today, except for the Q&A. Because of the time it is right now, I want to get this video done and uploaded hopefully before the kids get home, and I can't, and the Q&A, I'm just going to wait and do all of the Q&A on Sunday like I normally do. But everything else, we got a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do my week in review first. And like I said, especially this past weekend, I didn't necessarily stick hard and fast to my rotation like I normally do. And it was a plus because I just didn't have time or energy on some days to be able to stick to the rotation. But on the other hand, I'm looking forward to being able to have life back to normal-ish, as far as normal is concerned, this week, so that I can stick to my rotation, because I felt off with my stitching without it being in the rotation. You know how some people out there try rotation, don't like it because it makes them feel like restricted or off? I'm the exact opposite. I need the structure. It helps if one thing in my life is nice and structured to my desires, as opposed to external forces like children and husbands and life. So I'm looking forward to getting back to it this week. So some of these pieces didn't get as much progress as I wanted to because I wasn't able to stick to the full rotation all week, but that's okay. So first off is the Magical Creatures Calendar by Clouds Factory. This is on 32 Opal Belfast in Diva from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. And here is where I am as of today. I really just have the centaur left to do. So I've got his skin, then I've got his body down here and his eye. And a few people have drawn in an arm. I don't usually mind the fact that Clouds Factory doesn't have defined arms, but this guy in a side profile, and after seeing the arm someone else put in, I can't put him in without having an arm now. So I've got that left. I should be able to finish this before February, I imagine. So we'll see. Then the next one is my Postcards from the World, the 2016 Stitch Along from Clouds Factory, who is in a hoop because I put it in a hoop yesterday intending to work on it, and I didn't, and I just didn't take it out. But here's where we are on it at this point for January. I don't know if I'll finish this before the February one comes out, but that's okay. This is being done on 32 Jobelin and Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. Got my Moulin Rouge needle minder from Delicious Threads. So I've got all the blue done, and I'm working on all the white. I think I just have the clouds left really for the white, and then I'll go on to the next color, whatever I end up deciding that it will be. I love working on this piece. I think it's awesome. This is one of the pieces that suffered, though, as far as timing and stuff. The only thing that really didn't suffer this week because of timing was my year of starts, because if I knew I wasn't going to have the energy to stitch everything that I normally stitch the day, or the time, or whatever else, I made sure to do the year of starts first so I could actually have that part done. So yes, I usually take everything out of a hoop. I don't like keeping things in a hoop for super long, but plus where that one is positioned on the fabric, that hoop coming on and off is just a pain. It'll come off today though, after I work on this piece. Then the next one we have is Pumpkin Passport from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, their 2016 annual stitch along. And this is on 28 Jobelan and Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where we are at this point. Let's go on Advent. Advent. So I'm using Floss and Silks by Mo Sale. The silk that I'm using for this is the Pita silk. And in person, it doesn't get lost at all in the fabric. And I really like it. Plus, I think once the borders and stuff are around it, it'll help emphasize things more too. Got my Frosted Pumpkin needle minder. Again, this one I don't anticipate to be done before the February part comes out, but that's okay. I'm not concerned. Because I'm definitely not trying to do what I did last year and finish it in a day. Just not happening. So those were my annual rotations for this year. My rotation piece for the Stitch Mania annual stitch alongs last year, I was on it was a Chatelaine week, and I worked on Baltic Sea Mandala by Chatelaine, and it is done on 32 Lugana in Mercedes from Picture This Plus. And here is where I ended up this week. Ow. The center motif is what I'm working on. And actually, this is only 2 colors of threads. Isn't that cool? All those different shades of variegation, and it's only 2 colors of threads. And then there's my starfish needle minder. So yeah, not bad progress. Yay! So that one's going away for a little while. Then the next piece is my Focus for a Finish piece. And that is Happy Everything by Diane Arthurs. Happy Everything. And here is where, this is being done on a 28 Kasha Linen and Treasure Trove from Silk Weavers. So we got all the words for happy and started some, they've got the white done, that red done, and I'm working on the yellow. Here's the whole piece. I didn't really get to work on this much once we went out of town, so I'm looking forward to getting back to this. And I think I've decided I'm leaving the border off. Thank you everyone who gave me responses to the question. Got a lot of feedback, but I think the most compelling argument for me is I do want to have this professionally framed, and not having the border will actually make it a little bit easier, because, you know, sometimes things get just a slightly bit off. You can't tell if you're looking at the big overall picture, but if you were looking at a border like that, you'd be able to tell. So I think I'm going to leave the border off. But thank you everyone for the feedback. I appreciate it. Then the next one, oh yeah, then we were into the Year of Starts. So my first piece for the Year of Starts last week is an electronic pattern. I will put a link to it below. It is Disney Villains by Pixel Power. This also came up in my rotation this week as a whip that I actually did get to work on the whip this week. So this is not just the only part, I mean, it's not a ton of progress, but it's both the day I started it and the day that I worked on it as a whip. And I'm working on Maleficent here in the middle. I've got my Ursula needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies, and I'm dropping it. And this is done on a 28 Jobelan in Stormy Gray from Weeks Dye Works. It's a piece that I got from a Stitchy box. I have decided, and I substituted out, and I don't have the number down, all of these villains need bling. So I'm substituting in Krynic somewhere on each of the villains. And so for Maleficent, I substituted in, and you can see a little bit of the sparkle. It's a purple, and I don't have the number, it's downstairs, but the purple I make of her cape and her outfit, I'm making into a Krynic. But I mean, even the guys, I can figure out ways to put some bling in them. That's the plan anyway. Then the next piece that I worked on for the Year of Starts was Horn of Plenty. This is by Sharon Pope, and it was in the Just Cross Stitch September-October 2012 issue. And I am doing this on 32 Lugana in Doubloon from Picture This Plus. And here's where I was able to get to. Just a little start in the middle of that cornucopia. And I've got the pumpkin needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. This was a fun one to work on. I'm looking forward to when it comes back in rotation. Then the next one was my Eastern Star Santa from Mill Hill. There he is, the Eastern Star Santa. And here is where I was able to get to for the start. I was going really quickly with it. So there's that one. As I get the perforated paper caught on my hair. Next we have, I'm looking at my notes down here, sorry guys. Moonflowers from Mirabilia. She's so pretty. And I am doing her on 32 Jobelan and Pandora from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is, let's see, where is this? There it goes, this way. Here's where I got to this week. Okay, that's a little bit better back here. The colors look really pretty on this fabric. And I got a little minder from Minding My Minders. So, just a little start. But she's pretty. I'm really getting hooked on Mira's, let me tell you. Then, let's see, this one's over here. The next one that I worked on was It's My Mess from Joan Elliott's Cross Stitch Sentiments and Sayings book. Let me get it out so you can see the picture of it again. It's My Mess. It's this one right here. It's My Mess and I love it. And I'm doing this on a 32 Belfast solo die from Silk Weavers. And here's where I got to when I worked on her. It's a little bit of the out of her shirt. And I've got the K Rose Needle Minder from Minding My Minders. I really like how the colors looked on this one. Minder fell as I was getting another minder for another piece earlier. See, minders. And most of these will end up on pieces. Then the next one that I worked on was Fairy Tale from the Dimensions Gold collection. And here is where I got to at this when I stuffed it. Just a little bit of the blue starting in her skirt and cape. And the star needle minder is from Nifty Needle Nannies. You can see the thread through because I left the thread hanging. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It really depends on how much thread is left. Because sometimes, you know, if you get to that length where it's worth it for adding a few more stitches in, but it's not worth it to cut it and end it off because then you'll just have a really big ort, that's usually when I leave it on there. Then the next new start was Swirly Trees Noel, so it's this one, by Waxing Moon Designs. And I'm doing that one on 32 Lugana in Perfect Pine from Silk Weavers. And using flosses and silks from Mo's Sale, or just flosses from Mo's Sale, no silks for this piece. So here's where I got to with the green variegated thread from Mo's. And with the poinsettias, it's definitely going to look good on this fabric. Yay! Now the next two, I didn't tell you I was going to do. Because when I did my video last week, I said, well, if I don't get back on Sunday, I was going to do Chinese Phoenix. Well, then our plans changed, and we were going to be gone Sunday and Monday, as well as Saturday through Monday instead of Friday through Sunday. And I didn't want to bring all of my floss boxes because I work out of my floss boxes for my DMC, and I didn't want to bring all 4 of them, and I didn't want to bring a ton of different colors. I mean, I pulled colors out for Happy Everything, didn't touch it this weekend, because I didn't have a whole bunch that I needed for that one. So I decided instead to switch around switch around the order of I was going to do some of my pieces for the year of starts, and I picked out my 2 remaining Mill Hill kits to bring with me, and that ended up working out a whole lot better for me. So the first one that I worked on was Jeweled Pear by Mill Hill. And here is the progress that I got to. And yes, it is like an orangey, or not orangey, a yellow-green paper. And that went really fast with that one color. And then it was just easier to bring these little kits that already had the floss and everything else that I needed with it. So when I did have, you know, the minimal stitching time that I had in a day this weekend, I could do it. And then the last one that I worked on for Year of Starts was Kringle Wreath by Mill Hill. And here's where that one went to this week. Yay for the Year of Starts. So that was my Year of Starts this past week. Now we're going into whips for the week, and this is kind of pitiful, actually. So I only worked on 3 whips this week because when I got down to it on certain days, the whips for the week were the first things to be cast off. Because I could always get back to them. No big deal. So I only worked on 3 whips for this week. The rest of them, I showed you them all last week, and they've all rolled over into this week, but I'll show them to you again anyway. But what I did work on, I worked on Crowns of the Kingdom from Rosewood Manor. The pretty piece that's done all in Rainbow Gallery. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in Legacy from Picture This Plus. So I was able to finish the gold crown. So I got all the gold in it and the copper and the silver pieces in there. It's so blingy. I got the piece of gold needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So next that I'm going to work on is finishing this wreath around it and then put my initials here. Not putting the year, I'll put the year somewhere else, but I can put in my first and last initial because that's this part. It's right here on the pattern, so I can do my initials one on one side, one on the other. It's already charted. I just have to do it. And then this would be an awesome piece, by the way, Crowns of the Kingdom. I don't do round robins. I've thought about joining a few before, but the way my rotation stuff works, it's just not something that's feasible for me. I think they're awesome though, but this would be a good piece for a round robin piece because there's so many crowns of different sizes and they're individual motifs. So I could definitely see this being a really awesome round robin piece in case you're ever looking for ideas. I would go with this one. Then the next one that I worked on was Disney Villains, which I already showed you. And the final whip that I worked on this week was my Dove Santa by Mill Hill. And I finished his lantern except for beading and backstitching. And his hat is all done except for beading. Because there's a lot of beads. So that was my week last week. All in all, a good week. You know, considering how much craziness I had going on, it was not a bad week at all for stitching. I got a lot of stitching done. The few things that I had to hold over is no big deal. That's the other big thing I can tell you about rotations. If you have to adjust it for something, that doesn't mean you should scrap doing rotations altogether. I had to make adjustments almost every day last week, but that's okay. I got done what I wanted, what I could, and I'm happy with that. So 18, flexibility is key. Okay, so this week, I guess it's Tuesday, I'll say the start of this week, we're working on Magical Creatures. We are working on Postcards from the World. We're working on Pumpkin Passport. We're working on Happy Everything. I may, at least for 15 minutes a day for the first 3 from Magical Creatures, Pumpkin Passport, and Postcards. And then 30 minutes for Happy Everything. These 3, I might push a little bit more than 15 minutes a day. So I would like to get a little bit more done, before February, but we'll see. Magical Creatures, almost positive I will. The rest we'll see. So this week starts, or Sunday would have started, and I didn't start it Sunday. I did Chatelaine last week for the annual stitch along. This week I am doing Brooks Books, and I picked up a whip to work on for this week for the Brooks Books one, and it's going to be the Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel that I'm going to work on. And here's where what I have at this point. I've done the little doggy dude, and I'm working on her wings. And this is the one where I was stupid when I was working on it, and I turned it so when I originally started stitching it, so all of my stitches, if I go this way, are not the way that I normally stitch them. So I have to have this sideways. Dumb moment. And the time I realized it was after I'd already beaded the dog. So no. So I'll work on this for 30 minutes a day for the rest of this week through Sunday. And we'll see how far I get. Then, year of starts for this week. It's the last full week of January. Sunday is the 31st. So Sunday will be my last January start for the year of starts. But this month has gone by so quickly. And I was going to leave this to the end, but I'll say it now. I did get some mail. I'll show the stash off a little bit. That finish off my February kits or my February pieces for the year starts. Because of the time, and I want to do this without the kids being here. I am not going to film my February video today. I'm going to film it tomorrow. After I finish doing this video, I am going to do what I need to do to prep for tomorrow's video, so that tomorrow, after I drop off the kids from school, I can run to the grocery store. When I come back, I can sit down and I can do that video for the February preview for the year of starts. So be on the watch tomorrow for the next preview video. But anyway, this week in the year of starts, today I will work on, I'm so excited, Vintage Stitches from Jeanette Douglas. This piece is almost entirely specialty stitches, and it is gorgeous. If you've seen Tara C's video about her pineapple stitches, I think is what it's called, it's the same series of this from Jeanette Douglas. I'm just so excited to work on this. And it is going to be done on 32 Lugana in Changeling from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, which kind of looks like this. And I keep getting mentioned in comments in Stitch Mania. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait a minute. And I'm using the Wine Diva minder that I got from Minding My Minders, because, you know, grapes move to wine. See, look, specialty. I'm excited. Specialty flosses, specialty stitches. It's gonna rock. I think though I start with the only part that's cross stitched. That's okay. Then the next one I'm going to work on is called A Stitch in Time, and it's by Gail Busey, and it was from the Cross Stitch Crazy January 2013 issue. And I'm going to do this one on 32 Joblin in Raspberry Lemonade from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, and I'm using my own flosses and such from Mo's sale. I'm switching out. So here's the fabric. Isn't that pretty? It's a little bit, that's a little bit better back here. And the minder I'm using is my Heart Cross Stitch Needle minder I got from my LNS. But this is one of those patterns that lends itself to switching out colors. I mean, yes, it's charted for a red and a purple, purpley pink and a blue and a yellow bobbin. Who's to say you can't pull out a variegated and have bobbins of variegated thread? Who's to say these can't be variegated? Who said, I mean, this is one that totally lends itself to variegation. So I have already pulled out my flosses for Mo's. It's going to be fun. Then the next one that I am working on is going to be the one I told you I would have worked on this weekend. And that is a Chinese Phoenix by Joan Elliott. It's from her Bewitching Cross Stitch book, which we have all seen and love. And here's the Chinese Phoenix. Isn't she gorgeous? It's just so pretty. And that one is being done on 28 Joblin in Stardust from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Here we go. Yay! And I've got this pretty crown needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Then let's put that in here. Then the next one I am starting is from the 2010 Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition. And it is Madonna and Child by Brooks Books. So once this one is started, it will go into my rotation for my Brooks Books annual stitch along. And it's being done on perforated paper. No minder because it's perforated paper. Then the last one for this week for the Year of Starts is from the 2014 Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition. And it is Stained Glass Mistletoe by Ink Circles. Isn't that pretty? And I'm just doing this one on, I'd ordered a scrap bag from Stephanie a long time ago. And this is just a pretty piece of green, light green, that came in it. And I'm going to use this for that ornament. And I've got a cute little Christmas light needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So those are my Year of Starts. It just leaves one left for January. Yay! As I'm apparently now the yay lady. Then the next one, I've got my whips for the week. My first whip that I'm going to work on today is going to be Dreaming of Tuscany by Dimensions. All of these are ones I showed you guys last week, so I'm going to go through them quickly. So here's where I am at this point, and I've got the key needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Then the next one that I will be working on is my Edwardian Lady from Joan Elliott. And I am doing her on 32 Jobelin in Calypso from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Here's where it is at this point. And I've got my Claire needle minder from Minding My Minders. I love this fabric. I love this lady. She's so pretty. Then the next one that I will work on, oh, I'm sorry. Between Dreaming of Tuscany and Edwardian Lady will be my Eastern Star Santa that I showed you from my Year of Starts for this past week. So it'll be Dreaming of Tuscany, Eastern Star Santa, then Edwardian Lady. Then we've got Elf's Garden from Sew to Stitch. Sorry for the reflection. And that one is done on 32 Belfast and Wildflowers from Under the Sea Fabrics. I'll probably fit another piece on this, but we'll see. So here's where we are at this point on the summer one. And I've got a Drink Me needle minder from, I got that one at Gina's Unique Boutique. And then the last one for my whips for the week for this upcoming week is, is European Bistro from the Dimensions Gold Collection. And here is where I am on this one. Yay! And I've got a Once Upon a Time needle minder from Minding My Minders. Sorry, pop up on my phone. And I couldn't see anything because it blurred everything. So that is all my stitchy plans for today through Sunday. And then Sunday we'll start a regular routine again. Next I have for you guys is stash. Stashquisitions! Yay! Alrighty. First one is from Dragonfly Lotus. I ordered more of the limited edition Winter's Queen floss from Gentle Arts. So here's some more skeins that I had ordered from the Stitchy box, from this past Stitchy box. It's so pretty. And then I also ordered some more Foxy from the Mulberry collection. It's a Mulberry Silk. I used this for some of the hair on Garrett's Snow White piece, and I liked it a lot, so I wanted to order a couple more skeins. Then from Stony Creek, I have the January free shipping only pattern, which is Laugh Every Day, and it's the second of the series, so the third one will be in February. Then I also got from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, I got my fabric of the month. Let's see if I can get you the right color. That's pretty close back here. It's called Caramel Macchiato. And it's so pretty. It's a really nice orangey brown neutral. It's gorgeous. This is a 28 Jobelan. And the lighting is just not being friendly. Sorry. That's pretty much as close as you can get to it back here. That's pretty close. And then it still changes color. Then Jodry Designs, I got the threads I should have gotten in December, my January threads of the month, and then during the Christmas season she had a sale on her previous limited edition threads for the year, so I ordered some of the ones that I didn't have. So this is just a pile of floss that I'm going to show you guys. This is Waterfall. This one is let's see, I think I got a couple of these. Yeah, these are all the April 2015 limited edition amethyst. This one is Salsa, as in dance, not as in food, I think. This is Sea Anemone. I like that. Oh, this one's really pretty. This one is Argentine Tango. I like that red. It's really pretty. Then we have Seaweed. Then this one is Fairy Bower. It's very fairy colors, very pastel. Purple, green, and pink. Then these are from October 2014, limited edition. It's Trick or Treat. Green and purple and black. This one is these two are September 2014 limited editions. They are Fall Trees. Here's another Fall Trees. Sorry about that one. This is a February 5th, 2015 limited edition called Lonely Hearts. See, I only started collecting her this summer, so there's several of these. And then here's two more of the Lonely Hearts. This one is a January 2015 limited edition. It is Winter Sunset. It's really pretty. This one is the November 2015 limited edition. Trickle Toffee. This is the one I should have gotten in November. And then here is Ginger Tom. Here is Wooded Glade. Here is a January 2016 limited edition. This is Old Lang Syne. Here is Old World Map. Oldie World Map. This is another one of the Trick or Treat. This is Purple Rain. This is Lightning Strike. Here is Parisian Chic. Then we have Zen Garden. A couple more Old Lang Syne. This one is Misty Morning Sun. Havana Nights. Daisy Chains. Lovebirds. Frozen Meadow. This one is Paso Doble. And this last one is River Dolphin. All the pretties. And then the last thing I have to show you guys was the order that I had from Stitching Bits and Bobs to finish off my February year of start. So can you guess what I'm stitching by what I'm going to show you? Let's see. Here's a Dinky Dyes in Red Dust. It's just a pile over here, so. This is Classic Colorworks in Snowball. It's a pretty white. We have Whisper Thread in W88. This is Gentle Arts Nutmeg. Weeks Dye Works in Coal, black. This is another Weeks Dye Works. This is Crimson. It's really pretty. This is Blue Coat Blue, as opposed to, you know, like Blue Coat Pink or something. I have two Crinics in 002J. And they are number 4 petite braids. Very fine braids, I mean. This is Liberty by Weeks Dye Works. We have another Whisper Thread in W88. This one is Marigold by Weeks Dye Works. Tea Rose from Gentle Arts. Spring Grass from Gentle Arts. Schoolhouse Red from Gentle Arts. Tropical Ocean from Gentle Arts. Weeks Dye Works Pumpkin. And this is Dinky Dye's Desert Sands. There's another Dinky Dyes in Nutwood. This Weeks Dye Works is Squash. It's really cool variegated, and it's showing up a lot lighter than it is in person, but a lot brighter, I should say. This is Gentle Arts in Briar Rose. Just a couple more. Gentle Arts in Acorn. Weeks Dye Works Purple Rain, which is showing a whole lot more blue on the screen, but it's really, really pretty. Dark, dark, dark purple and blue. And the last one is a Dinky Dyes Jindalee. Any guess what I'm stitching in February? So that's it for today. Tomorrow I will be back to do a February Year of Starts preview video. And then Sunday we'll be back to my normal rotation, or my normal weekly videos. So I will do my Q&A on Sunday. I just didn't have time to do it today. I hope everyone has a good stitchy week, or a good stitchy day, since I'll see you tomorrow. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.